Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero debut costume intro, and this time I'm debuting my actual sweatsuit with zipper, not a skinny jeans, or I haven't debuted it on this page yet, but it is on my Facebook fan page, and that is my baggy sweatsuit with zipper, with khaki and military pants. Yeah, this is an actual sweatsuit with actual sweat and jogging pants, even though I'm wearing sweatpants and trunks with blue trunks in this shot. Yeah, but this is the actual sweatsuit costume. I have multiple color variations like an actual superhero, like an actual cartoon character, where you have multiple colors of the same clothes, the exact same thing. Yeah. This is a brand new debut. This is a brand new real life superhero debut for various reviews, rants, and other topics. So. And I also debut a new song. Yeah, let me talk about that. Gotta give credit where it's due. Yeah, I've been watching a female YouTube user name. What was her name? Was Annie something. Her name was Annie Mellon. I think that's her name, Annie Mellon. Anyway, she's known to be a huge Dragon Ball and anime fan, and she reacts to the Team 4-Star anime and various other the Team 4-Star abridged Dragon Ball abridged series and various other abridged and anime based series. In her specific video, as part of her outro, she debuted a song called "Something You Could Never Own," which is a free to use song. I hope the people who performed and created this song do not mind me using it in my video, and that is, the band is called Netflix, and they performed a song called "Something You Can Never Own." That will be the intro. That will be the intro for this brand new costume. So, with that being said, let's get started right now. My distance is to the top. My distance is at the top. My distance is past the top. Still my distance is past the top. Straight to the top, the keep heading up, and start shutting the why we shouldn't give up. Nobody's real without really still. The only way to feel the bands and dirty pills. In a way that your body's as strong as we face. In this life there's a lot of time to get a showcase. Just know you're a giver ever. Live your life, but the one that you show out. This time is the best in life. Show out the way to make it right. Make it to the top of the mountain, baby, show until you feel there's nothing more for you can say. Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, outside of my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in bed. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happened. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this
know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't afford. It's like it's a thing that you could never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. Fight and fight and die for the things you know you love.
Hey everybody, it's now time for my part 2 real life superhero webcam version of the Centurions Season 2 review. The Season 2 review as a real life superhero. As you can see by the angle of the camera, I will be standing in this video. I keep forgetting, as much as I love sitting down so you can get a full view of the costume, I keep forgetting that it's nighttime, so I can stand up. I can still get a good picture quality. The biggest problem I have with doing reviews like this during the daytime is the light of the window you see right there always blocks out my face and everything. Well, I keep forgetting that at nighttime, so that's why I have to sit down. That's why I have to move the camera angle down to where you see the boxes. Where you see the boxes over there, I have to move the camera down and sit down, which gives you a clear view of the costume I'm wearing, a clear view of the full costume I'm wearing, and stuff. But you've seen this costume in multiple videos already. In multiple videos already, so there's no need to sit down. So yes, I will be standing in this, and I'll try to remember that when I'm doing a nighttime real life superhero review and video like this, that I can stand. So yeah, the episode that will play in the background is the Season 2 episode, one of the episodes I'm going to talk about the most, and that is that old black magic, something like that. I think that's what the title was called. This was the episode. For those of you who watched, I'll talk about that when I get on to camera, but that's the episode that will play in the background. To see the shorter part 1 webcam version as the Douglas Blair Roberts YouTube social media completely off-camera version, the link will be in the description box below. This is the on-camera real-life superhero version. So with that being said, let's make my grand entrance on camera. Let's play the theme and then make my grand entrance on camera and continue the review from there.
In the near future, Doc Terror and his cyborg companion hacker unleash their forces to conquer Earth. Only one force can stop this evil, a handful of brave men. In specially created exobrains, they can be transported anywhere. To fuse with incredible assault weapon systems, beamed down from the space station Skybolt. Becoming Man-Machine Power Extreme. Max Ray, Brilliant Sea Operations Commander. Jake Rockwell, Rugged Land Operations Specialist. Ace McCloud, Daring Air Operations Expert.
Whatever the power, they're ready. The Centurions. Centurion Season 2. Centurion Season 2. This was a vast improvement over Season 1. For the most part, it's not too much different than Season 1. animation,
An earth tremor in the Long Island Sound.
animation,
Now that's what I call
animation,
unusual.
character
What's more, it
designs,
seems to have
animation,
originated
character
under
designs
Manhattan.
are for the most part the same
I don't
as
like it either, girl.
season one. Everything is the same as season one. The only two
You're right.
difference
Someone's
from this
out there.
season
Let's
from this
take a
season
closer
and the
look.
previous season I reviewed.
And wherever you
In this
find
season,
Hacker, Doc
this
Terror and
season
trouble
has
can't be
more
far away.
realistic
Cyborg calling
based
Centrum.
realistic
Okay,
based
calling
storylines.
back
Things that can happen
Master,
almost
we had a bit of a
things that can
hiccup down
happen
here,
in
Crystal.
real life, whereas the first one had more Hollywood comic book style storylines. There were still a couple of comic book storylines in this one, Hollywood comic book storylines in this one too. The other difference is new characters are introduced in this season, but characters from the previous season do return
Systems
in
assembly
this
completed and ready for beaming.
in this season
Good luck, Max.
in this season too. Yeah. I enjoy, as always, I enjoy all of the episodes. The one that sticks out the most is the episode you're watching in the background. And this episode, which is called That Old Black Magic, I think that's what it's called. This episode is notable because they debut a love interest for Ace McCloud named Cassandra. This is the first woman he's encountered throughout the series who actually likes him, who actually takes a like to him. This woman is a witch, and she has magical powers. Doc Terror wants to use her powers to conquer the world, but she aids the Centurions. She helps them escape and thwart Doc Terror's and Hacker's plans, and she offers Ace McCloud a chance to come back to her world and live with her, and in one of the most heartbreaking endings ever, and one of the greatest character development moments for Ace McCloud, the womanizer. Ace McCloud, who would have gave up anything for this woman, decides he likes being a Centurion, and he has a duty as a Centurion on Earth, and as one of Earth's greatest champions, he cannot go with Cassandra, and Cassandra is tearfully forced to fade away and go back to her world. But she does make a return in in one of the episodes of the next two seasons I'm gonna review. This is season 2. Yeah, awesome character development for Ace McCloud, who, like I said in part 1, him and Jake McCloud, even Jake Rockwell, go through the most development, with Ace McCloud having the most development. Over time, you see him becoming a better person. You see him be this womanizer, but you see him becoming a better person and becoming a more trusted ally, because it's his womanizing that occasionally gets him and the rest of the team in trouble. And you see him becoming less of a womanizer and focusing more on his job and his duty as a Centurion. Jake Rockwell is the combat enthusiast, and is the reckless, impulsive member of the Centurions. You see him over the course of the series become less impulsive and becomes an even more useful member to his team, because his recklessness and impulsiveness, while Ace McCloud's womanizing is bad, Jake Rockwell's recklessness, impulsiveness, and occasional jealousy and competition with Ace McCloud can occasionally put the team in danger. Max Ray, as he's kind of introduced as like almost, for the most part, almost this perfect person, he doesn't really change much, other than that he kind of messes up. He has a big time episode dedicated to himself that I'm going to mention, but first Jake, let's go back to this Ace McCloud and Jake Rockwell. First, Jake Rockwell. Jake Rockwell. When I said he becomes better, there's one episode where there's one Hollywood comic book episode where he meets an actual psychic, a kid with actual telepathic, telekinetic powers that is often bullied for being different by a group of jocks. So in this episode he actually steals one of Jake Rockwell's weapon, and that's the wheelchair Jake Rockwell rides around it in battle and uses to get around. He steals that, and Jake Rockwell is first forced to stand up for him against the other bullies and teach him how to put his telekinetic powers and his special gifts to get used to teaching that his new powers and gifts do not make him different from anyone else. The lesson that was learned in this episode, Ace McCloud and Max Ray would have been better to teach this guy the lesson. They chose Jake Rockwell as a great character development for him in this episode. Then you got, then I already mentioned Ace McCloud. I already mentioned Ace McCloud. So yeah, let's talk about Max Ray, his big episode. In another awesome episode called Max Ray the Traitor, where on a mission, Max Ray gets injured and he gets so fed up he snaps at his fellow Centurions, Ace McCloud and Jake Rockwell, that he decides to controversially quit the Centurions. Now, when we get to the end of the episode, it was all a ruse to throw Doc Terror and Hacker off. It was all a ruse to throw them off guard and allow the Centurions to eventually reform and defeat them and overwhelm in the end. But Maxwell Ray showed you why he is the leader. He had me going. He had the Centurions and everyone in the episode, and he had me going too, man. He had me going too. So yeah. Then another episode, the Sea Lab people return. I mentioned this in the previous one, but the Sea Lab the Sea Lab people return. I could have sworn it happened in the previous season, but it happens in this season. The Sea Lab people return. This time, Doc Terror attacks them again. This time, Doc Terror destroys the Sea Lab place, forcing the Sea Lab workers and residents to move up into the surface on land, where Centurions and everyone else are. I'm impressed with this because, well, when I saw the Centurions a decade ago, we discovered them a decade ago, I just saw them as some cheese-tastic 80s Hanna-Barbera Ruby Spears cartoon that was great for its time but wouldn't hold up today. And since it was the 80s, a time that was more about, since it was the 80s and before, which these times were more about toys, were more about selling toys, merchandise, and ratings above all things. That strong creative writing and continuity between episodes. There's actual continuity. Previous events are referenced and mentioned. Previous events are referenced, and characters who are introduced. Some of them become reoccurring characters, constantly reappearing in various plots. Again, and that's what was interesting about this episode. That was interesting about this cartoon, this right here. That despite being an 80s toyetic cartoon, they tried as hard as they could to push the boundaries of an 80s cartoon. This is one of the best 80s cartoon. This is the best 80s cartoon I've seen. It features the strongest writing of any kind. Then you got another episode, Terror on the Ice. One of the first episodes that I saw where Amber Amber, Doc Terror's daughter, returns in this episode. In this episode, they once again go to space. They once again go to space. There's another episode which features Max Ray meeting an old girlfriend of his named Rebecca, who's working with some scientists who later turns out to be corrupt and working with Doc Terror. Then there's another episode with a similar plot involving a mummy, where they meet a doctor, where they go to Egypt and they meet a doctor who has the ability with the curse to bring some mummies to life to attack the Centurions. He at first appears as a good guy, but is later revealed that he's working with Doc Terror and Hacker. Then also Doc Terror's sea creature from the first season, Mako, the merman inspired villain from He-Man. He returns this season, and they also deal with another villain called the chameleon. They also deal with another. Remember dealing with another rival Centurions force. Then another episode called The Incredible Shrinking Centurions, where the Centurions get shrunk down. I can't believe I almost forgot. Then there's another episode called Captain Steel, where this episode is interesting because Doc Terror and Hacker discover another lost ancient civilization similar to the dinosaur civilization from season 1. They discover another ancient civilization in Hawaii. It looks like it would be Hawaii, Hawaii or somewhere in that area. And these Palestinians people, they recognize Doc Terror's henchman Hacker as this mysterious mythical folk superhero named Captain Steel. Then Captain Steel began worshiping him and treating him like a god. Doc Terror uses it to his advantage, but then gets fed up with Hacker becoming arrogant because the people see him as a god and see him above Doc Terror and see Doc Terror as a servant, Doc Terror, in retaliation for this plans to destroy and nuke the entire island, and nearly wins up until Hacker, who's actually bonded with the people. You see that Hacker himself is not as evil as Doc Terror. He's bad, but he's not as evil as Doc Terror, as he, not wanting Doc Terror to destroy these innocent people, he actually helps and assists the Centurions. He actually helps and assists the Centurions and allows the Centurions to save the day as he is forced to bid farewell to the Palestinian people. What was interesting is once you learn in this episode, Hacker, he's not as bad as Doc Terror or Doc Terror's daughter, Amber.
Enjoy your grave, Centurion.
Amber. So yeah, that was another interesting episode. Like I said, there were a lot of interesting episodes. I'm only talking briefly because I can't remember every single detail. I didn't really want to feel like rewatching to get this out. I want to get this season 2 review out as much as I can. But that's what the post-reaction and post-reviews. That's what the post-episode reaction and reviews are for, where I will go more in depth. So, yeah. Centurions Season 2. I've already been watching Season 3. I gotta rewatch more episodes to remember everything that happened in that season. But, phenomenal season. So, yeah. This has been my review of Centurions Season 2.
You might say
Once again, to see the original parts. The links will be in the description box below, and they will be on my channel. And they will be on my channel. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
In preparation for my greatest criminal triumph, Operation Atlantis, the seeking of New York City. And you, Miss Cross, you are going to make my fondest dream a reality.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think you'll do and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, outside of my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in death. Been stabbed in the back, let I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn back to games, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn back to games, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. Fight and fight and fight for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and you like to what you want. Fight and fight and fight for the things you know you love. Do what you think is right, and you like to what you want. So give me all the scars, I'm a human being. Cover them with tattoos so you can't see. Knew it from the start, you had problems with me. And the things I could be, I just wish I had seen. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn back to games, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own.